Thank you, Toon. First of all, I'd like to see if we can get more people in here because Mobile People's giving away 12 iPhones, and I think that's more interesting than what people are doing out in the hall. So can just see if we can get people in here. I have a great dynamic presentation about how the directory business is getting disrupted and what we need to do about it. Just a little quick overview of what I'm going to talk about. Talk about 10 disruptions that is affecting your lives today, and very important to really think deeply about these issues. A little bit about mobile explosion. I'm going to give some stats here in a unique way to help you remember what's going on in mobile. I'm going to review some of the killer applications now in the marketplace, and then really how can all of you profit from this creative disruption we're seeing in the iPhone world. So a little pitch on my company. I started Analog Digital Objects in 2007, December. I left Nokia. Our vision has really been about the cross-media future of advertising and marketing. Mobile is the connected centerpiece for social media engagement experiences with any advertiser, brand, or media. The mobile device is going to be connected in ways that are unimaginable. 10 years ago, we looked at, there were 1,000 pages in the index of Yahoo. Now we have over 150 million websites on the web. And all those websites are linked in unique ways into applications such as Facebook, MySpace. In the next 5 years, what are we going to see in mobile has really happened. 2008 has been kind of a turning point in history with the launch of iPhone. What we do, we're a cross-media agency. We look at closing the loop, meaning how do you convert a sale and make money with mobile? What are the best ways to do that? I have 3 different divisions. One is my consultancy called ADO Strategies. ADO Strategies, I've had clients such as Nokia. I work with social media companies. I've produced 2 events, one for the Interactive Advertising Bureau, one recently called Think Mobile in New York. I've been a consultant for CBS Radio on how to bring their local radio advertisers to mobile. Companies such as AdStar, which is a classified company with newspapers, etc. And I've been doing quite a lot of events, such as Canadian Music Week. It's like the South by Southwest in Canada. ADO Cross Media, I've been working with music labels. I've been working with Global TV, and our team is doing some things uniquely for the Olympics in Vancouver. And then ADO Design is my own incubator. Since I left Nokia, I've had a variety of different ideas. I've been putting money into small startups and helping them take that idea to the next level. A little bit about the landscape of disruption. I have 10 points here that I'd like to go through. Forces that are really changing this entire environment, specifically linked back to mobile. Force number 1, we live in a different world today in terms of media consumption. In 2006, there were 30 different ways people can consume media. Now, in 2008, there's more than 50 different ways of consuming media. Media consumption is exploding. To have a pinpoint brand in a variety of different trigger and stimulation points makes it very difficult. The Web 2.0 world has leveled the playing field with user-generated content and syndication. That whole idea of being able to syndicate is so important. Just having a unique brand and driving users to your portal, that's old school. Now it's all about syndication and how you link in all of those different forms of media. The second force, and why did this slide? Okay, yeah. And leading to what we call communitainment. The second force is clearly the $500 billion that are spent in advertising globally. Even though the internet is a small fraction, and we saw from Donat that Google only is 3% of the mind share of advertising spend. That's happening. That migration is happening very rapidly. And so it's really in your hands how you build a strategy in terms of where these new competitors are going to eat your pie. The next is really the free versus fee. We've seen the media business of building a user base with free and then looking at conversions with paid. It's worked very well in the media industry, but now in mobile, free has become mainstream with an all-you-can-eat data package, and that is now. And iPhone, 40% of the apps have been free, and then, 40% are paid, 60% free. So there's that yin and yang, or that balance between free and paid. The other major force is the multimedia computer, and 2008 was really pivotal. I spent many years working on strategy at Nokia, the launch of the N95. I worked very closely with this community in terms of bringing directory companies on board with your brand, delivered on a Nokia experience. And so the whole idea of this being a computer has now happened. The shift happened in 2008 in a big way. And what we're seeing now is the ability in one click to really have connected applications that are with me everywhere. This really, and make it very easy to use. Not saying that Nokia didn't do it right with their products, but Apple did it better. And I just want to ask the audience, how many have an Apple? Again, because we said an iPhone. So we have about 20%. How many of you feel that it's changed your life? iPhone has become the status quo now in mobile, and we're going to see tremendous. Nokia is going to come back, and we're going to see amazing things out of Nokia. What we're seeing now with G1, Google now shipped 1 million devices. T-Mobile has shipped 1 million devices to the G1 in North America. This is, we can't go back. The box is open, and we're just going to see more and more smartphones. By 2013, half of the world will be penetrated with smartphones, and it just keeps growing. The other force that I think is extremely important to note is that the waves in which we've been consuming media. We saw the wave of the email portal and the portal in 1995 that's kind of came back through social media. And then in 2000 was the real growth of web and local search. We've been talking about local search, but I didn't hear one person today talk about perspective search. The community, user-generated perspective search. We have experienced a massive change in search. If there's a company that is going to affect Google, it's Twitter. How many of you use Twitter search? Probably the ones that have iPhones. The amazing ability to see perspectives in real time and how they're emerging is extremely powerful. And it's really changed the landscape, and it's something that you need to grab. It's a major force. The next force is the fact that devices will have, in 2010, there'll be more devices with full HTML browsing capabilities than PCs with full browsing capabilities. So you don't need a mobile web strategy. It's your existing web properties are now going to be usable on mobile devices. Again, changing the landscape, a big disruption. The internet service providers, the Googles of the world that have basically enabled an ecosystem that lives off of the web can now move very seamlessly into mobile because you can access, using search, existing web properties. The whole rich media, that disruption is now real. The next big force, and I'm showing the Obama application, I worked very closely with the guys that built this, where they took an experience and used it for promoting a cause. But what was so amazing about the Obama application was that they built it within the contact book, the address book, to actually look at your friends at where they live in either blue states or red states, and have the ability to even communicate with friends that were actually in a territory that was out of the political space. So the ability to have an application that changed is real. It happened and it affected, and that linked very closely to TV, radio, print, outdoor. And then another force, again, I talked about perspective search, is the real social graph of social media. And Facebook today, there was a very interesting, if you have time to go do a Google search and see Charlie Rose's interview of Mark Andreessen, who actually sits on the board of, well, he runs a company